So the iPhone Keynote event just ended a few hours ago, and I want to talk a little bit about what I saw them bringing out, and also the augmented reality stuff. We're going to definitely touch upon AI because they did give a considerable amount of time into AI, which is interesting because they did that a few months ago and kind of seem to have been repeating it. It's interesting to call it the iPhone event because it wasn't just the iPhone, they released the watch and the AirPods. So I'm going to give my thoughts of those just before we get into the iPhone because they did come before the event. The watch, I was excited for a new form factor, but a bigger screen, a thinner device, all pluses in my books. Me personally, I've tried a few times over the years to have the Apple Watch. Never stuck, I think mostly because of the charging. There's just too many devices to charge. We need to get to that point where like devices can charge on devices. Actually, well, I don't have an iMac. I move around way too much for that. But I did see a kind of a concept of putting like the wireless charging on the stand of the iPad. Of the iMac or the iMac stand, so you could just place like your AirPods or you place your phone or even your keyboard when you finish using it or your mouse and you just slot it into that place and have it charging. Kind of like an AirPower type of device, but like built into the stand of the iMac. Something like that where like you could just stack it away. The good thing of that is like it's built into your computer. It's not something that you have to remember to bring in. And when you can have multiple devices, or the idea of like slotting a few different devices in and out when it is like helpful for you. Definitely great, but I do want to try the Apple Watch. Ever since they kind of moved towards this idea of like health metrics, and not just like, hey, look, this is another screen, a small little screen on your wrist that you can like have a FaceTime call with. When they moved to the health metrics, that was when it was very exciting. So bigger screen, thinner device, lighter device, those are all good selling points. I don't know if it's enough to make me want to go in. I think I'm going to test it out and review it just to see if it can work in my thing. The thing I'm really looking forward to is like health tracking, running, seeing if you're in the zones, being able to take heart rates, things like that. On all the extra metrics, definitely a plus in my book. For me personally, especially the idea that like it's all going into the health app and it's all encrypted and on your device and you can share it with your doctor if need be. So into that. That is moving towards preventative health, rather like proactive health rather than reactive health that we have today. Anyways, I'm going to try and get to the iPhone, but we're going to stop in the AirPods for a second because, great to see that the AirPods 4, new device, getting rid of the AirPods 2, finally just keeping one device regular, one device Pro, always good in my book. Please start doing that with the iPad. Reduce some of the confusion with some of your product lines, Apple. So happy to see that, smaller case, yada, yada, yada. Bringing noise cancelling into the AirPods, great. I love the fact that they're bringing hearing aids and hearing tests. This is a conversation I've had so often over the last couple of years, and especially since I started working on 8 years ago. My concept was, the conversation I would have with many, many people is like, why are glasses a fashion statement and hearing aids are the complete opposite? They're both solving, let's say, a disability. They're both taking one of your senses that has been reduced. For glasses, it's your eyesight. For hearing aids, it's your hearing. But glasses has successfully moved into the area of fashion, and hearing aids, most people don't even take tests. And this is what Apple highlighted on in their keynote. But even the people that have taken tests, there's a huge stigma involved, and there's many people that don't even wear hearing aids because of the stigma that comes with old age. And my approach was, you got to start on the other end. You got to make a device that it is embraced by everyone, something that teenagers and old people alike will wear it, a commercial, a consumer device, and then you put in the smarts. Because if you think about it, hearing aids are exactly, like the AirPods are exactly what the hearing aid is, right? You've got the microphone on the outside to pick up the outside world. You've got a DSP, you've got a computer, you've got running all your audio algorithms, your DSP in the inside, your computer. And then you've got your speaker on the inside, and that's exactly what the AirPods are. And when you have the silicon tips and you basically have passive noise cancellation, then you're able to, and you make that cocoon, you're able to run all these algorithms and actually essentially replace the hearing aid. And the hearing aid is a huge amount of money. You know, it's locked behind a prescription, it's locked behind, you know, insurance doesn't necessarily deal with it, like all these different issues. It was, Apple is in a position, and really any company that does these buds are now going to get into this field, but they've finally dealt with this issue where they're actually solving the fashion aspect. A grandfather, a grandmother, and a teenager, and everyone in between is happy to wear AirPods. No one now knows if you've got your hearing aid mode on, which is great because more people, and what they also showed is most people don't take tests, and now you'll be able to take your tests. And this is another thing that I love. Actually, I don't even know if I'm going to get to the iPhone in this video, maybe next video, but I love this concept because it's also showing us, it's moving to this world. I'm actually pretty excited about it, even though it's such a small thing, and I dare say it doesn't affect me, but it does. We're moving to this world where we're packing these sensors onto these devices that each one of us will either be able to afford or already have in our common devices, and be able to take these tests at home, in our bathroom, or even while walking down the street during the day. It doesn't have to necessarily be a test that's done, you know, just in the morning. The more that these things happen, the more that we're actually scanning and taking care of our body, and not scaring us, but rather giving us the required information and helping us, you know, solve this issue. Like I gave a story once that I met a nurse at a Friday night meal many, many years ago now. And I had just seen infographics of like taking a doctor's report and making it really nice and beautiful. And as starting my design journey then, I was like, oh, this is beautiful. The colors were great. And they've taken 10 pages and they condensed it into 2 and there's beautiful. And she says to me something interesting. She's like, have you ever thought that there's of why we don't do that? Maybe there's a reason of why we keep it ineligible, why we have so much jargon. It's that these words and these phrases are scary, and you don't even know what they necessarily mean. If you don't have the context, something that might sound bad might actually be good for you. So doctors, it's good to know, but why are we going to burden you and make you freak out that this is something, you know, there's something now wrong with you? Which is great over here because what they've done is, not only have they made this hearing, it's a clinical grade hearing aid, right? And once it gets approved by the FDA, I think it will be, or the FCC, they've put the sleep apnea, I think, by the FDA. Anyways, these two things, the sleep apnea test and the hearing aids, are still getting their approval, and they hopefully will get approved in the next month or so. But once these comes out, the test itself is now on your phone. You can take the test whenever. You can take the test multiple times. You can, you know, improve next week, the week after. You take it every month, take it once a year. When's the last time you've taken a hearing aid test? It's not something that you do often. I know I don't even know if I've ever really taken a hearing aid test. In a month or two, that could be on my phone. I take it. Give me 5 minutes in a quiet room, or whatever is required. It's nice and simple. UX is beautiful. Anyone can do it. And then suddenly you now have your hearing aid profile, or your hearing profile. Let's not call it a hearing aid because of the stigma. You've got that sitting on your AirPods, and you never have to do anything. You don't have to tweak, do any. That is insane. Like, I'm looking at that and going, you know, I can't wait until I can do that with an eye test, where I don't have to just put in my prescription that I've gotten at a fancy machine. I've done that with a simple test on my iPhone at the comfort of my home. That changes things. And then once you have prescription, you know, digital prescriptions and glasses, which are going to have to be, that's actually going to happen with anyone that's doing augmented reality or even virtual reality, but mostly augmented reality, because you're going to need to make a device that you're not going to want to have these inserts that you now have with the Vision Pro. You have to get a Zeiss optical inserts that ship later, and you have to do tests and things like that. You know, we definitely do want digital prescription, and there's, you know, research and work being done, and, you know, different liquids that you know, we change how the refractivity happens, all those things like that. But we will be getting digital prescriptions in the near future. Be able to take that test in the comfort of your own home, using algorithms that are definitely using AI to compete with these massive machines that right now you need an optometrist to take care of you. To do that at your home, having digital prescription, these are exciting. There's so many more things I want to speak about this, but that is definitely one of the highlights, and I'm really looking forward to getting that, because now it's no longer just for old people. This will be something that will not only prevent, but also educate and also help everyone. It's win-win for everyone. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the future.